Yeah, hi guys, Sumit here. So as you are already know from the title of the video that we are looking for the new playlist or new learning program. We are introducing new learning program into the YouTube right now, which is belongs to the IT industry. First of all, many of the person we might ask the questions related to the same why there are so many programs are already there, right? Why I am going to or we are going to launch a new program? Is it any requirement or not? So when I'm going through the each and every programs, right, I have gone through there are a couple of things which they are focusing more. I'm not saying that's a bad or good. So they are more focused on the programming skills. That more some channels are more focused on the data structure, problem statements, solvings, and all those stuff. But here, right, there are many things which is missing. So I'm just talking about the point of view who are not coming from the IT background. So when we are thinking onto the IT sector, right, or when we are thinking about the development of the software, we have to think multiple things. We have to go through the multiple stuff. It is not specifically that we have to focus on the IT. We have to focus on the programming language itself. Okay, there are multiple other parameters also we need to consider. If I can give you the example about the PHP, right? So when started, right, when everything was started, I mean, right, PHP was started, the community was very big. I'm not saying PHP now it's tight. There are some projects still working on the PHP and they are doing good. But now you already know, right, the market is going in a different direction. The PHP is one of the programming language goes down as well. The community goes down. Now more focus is more about the Node.js. Someone is focusing on the Spring Boot. So it's all about the project to project, Python, everything is there right with us. Even the front end side also there are multiple programming language, multiple tech stacks we have. So before starting to touch with the those tech stack, right, we have to also focus on some of the important parameter which is missing, I can say, right now into the market or the playlist. Maybe there are some tutorials will be there, but yeah, we're going to touch from starting to end of the programs. So it's more about the IT sector programs. Okay, so main focus of the programs is start from the basics, understand the things which we are going to be developed or might be possible we need to understand, right? See, when you do something, right, when you develop something, you need to understand in for which you are developing. Let's say someone is developing the Android applications, right? Then you need to also make sure that you need to understand the Android operating system before going into the depth, right? Because if you know it very well, then you will build something bigger, something different. So let me give you the overall example, right? Very simple and basic example. I think you might all are aware about it, right? So in Android, right, there are multiple apps, multiple phones are there, right? Every phones are following a different specification. Most of the phones are using some processor, but if you notice, right, the Android is the same, right? The operating system follows the same logic, same application, same framework, and everything remains same, right? Then what is the difference? Why in some phones you feel the lagness, although they are using the same amount of RAM, same number of applications, same number of storage, same way, right? Why there is a difference? Why there is a difference? You getting my point? So basically the point is very simple and straightforward. So before doing any implementation of any of the applications, you need to understand for which you are developing, for whom you are developing. Are you developing for the Linux operating system? Are you developing for the Windows operating system? What are the specifications you are going to use in that project? So that's why, right, if you notice, right, the many social media or everything, they are very integration with the social media with the iPhones or iOS very tight, and it is very good. Why? Because they can afford to do it. Every year the Apple iOS system, they are launching only few phones, and most of the phones are using the same chipset. So the tuning between that processor and the system or application what needs to be target, it will be easier for the developer. But when you say from the Android side, to detuning with the processor and to the programs, it will be very difficult because multiple phones are launching and each and every phone has a different processor, different specification. So it is very difficult to tune the application such a way that it supports all the capabilities or all the functionalities which is there in the part of the operating system. Yeah, so that's a big miss what I can say right now. So we have to focus on that direction as well. So let me start with the intro things that what the playlist is all about, how we will going further and what are the topics we have to touch it further. Yeah, so first and most important thing, we will start with the overview about the technologies, that what are the technologies and why it is growing, why the IT is making money more compared to other fields, and what are the important criteria we need to understand that. Yeah, now we also going to understand more on the CPU things. I mean, when we are developing an application, you need to understand, right, that the processor, how many threads you can run into the processor. So let's say someone is non-technical background, from if you're looking into this part, right, just think on the direction that you have to run the multiple things parallelly, multiple applications parallelly. How you will handle those things, you need to understand that is your CPUs are aware about it, is CPU is comfortable to do those separations. If yes, then you can go and do it. Yeah, so we need to understand, right, what is a CPU, what is the OS system, how operating system is picking, and how operating system is works, because each and every applications will work based on the operating system, over the operating system only. Okay, if you're talking about the Android application, it will work onto the iOS. If you're an iOS developed based on the Unix, if you're going with the Android application, which is again the Linux based operating system. Yeah, and if you're going with the Windows type of development, where the desktop application you are going to develop, then it's a Windows server, Windows application, everything. When you're talking about the web application, so to give you the example, if you think you have to focus on the web development, then still when you're hosting your application to some of the cloud or somewhere, right, that also use some of the operating system. So the operating system is there for each and every programming execution. Why it is that, we will have a look into that section when we come touch into that video or the playlist, what we can say. That time we will discuss more about it. Yeah. Now let's focus on the next topic. We'll also go with the GitHub. I will let you know why we are talking about the GitHub as well, but yeah, that's the main topic which we're going to touch. Then see, one important thing which right now is missing, to identify the technologies. Yeah, so basically, right, I just let me give you the example, very simple and short example. Each and every problem has its own solution, but for developing those solution, you have to identify which technology is comfortable. Let me give you the example. If you're going with the machine learning type of thing, where you have to do the prediction, where you have to do some of the learning stuff is there, some of the analysis like that is possible, you have to implement, then you have to go with the Python. Why I'm saying you have to go with the Python is very simple. There are inbuilt libraries are there are multiple stuff is inbuilt, and you can right away use it and do it. But if your application is developed, your application requirements is slightly different, right? Let's talk an example that your application requirement is more about the transaction based system, where the huge number of complex logic, complex transactions is present. Then might be most of the company will go for the Spring Boot, which is nothing but the Java. There are multiple advantage, disadvantage, everything will be there. And if you have a lightweight application where there are some communication needs to be happen, or just a high level things are there, some of might choose the Node.js. So that's again the problem statement based, you have to finalize the technology. So how you will identify those technology, that is one of the sections which we're going to cover. The next part is the high level structure. Okay, high level structure is, it's very simple. Okay, whenever you are going to develop any of the programming, any of the software or the applications, right, you have to mainly focus on the things, not about the technology that you are comfortable. It's more about what you can, like what the solution is required, and second most important thing, what are the infrastructure you have with you. Let's say if you have the AWS, and if you think that yeah, I have to go with AWS and I want to tightly bundle my application with AWS, in future also I will go for with AWS only, then definitely you can use the resources from the AWS straightforward. Instead of writing the scratch code or everything, you can use resources, or you can use like NoSQL, you have to use it, then you can go for the more DynamoDB and everything. So that's a tightly thing, but it's again the depends, right? Most of the companies are more prefer to use some of the Docker or Kubernetes type of solution, where they don't want that dependency should be created to any of the clouds. Let's say tomorrow AWS increase the charges, if they want to move their application from AWS to the GCP or the Google Cloud specifically, they can easily do it. There is no burden should be there. not easy. I mean, there will be a data things and everything, migration should be done, but the transformation infrastructure wise, there will be no changes on the code level or something like that needs to be done. So that's also the interesting point which we are going to touch. Then later on we will start with the actual server side and client side overview, how the server side programming works, how the client side programming works, and after going with each and every section is of the server side and client side, then we will focus on the middleware. So basically when I'm talking about server side client side, right, it's two sections, two separate sections, but we need to combine them and we need to ask them to do communication, right? For making those communication, there are multiple ways you can do it, multiple options we have, how to select those options, which communication medium is meant we can prefer to use. Like, just give you the example, it's like a REST API, right? It's very famous to communicate from the client to server, but it is an ideal every time. Do you think the REST API will fill it? Yeah, if yes, then might be there are some scenarios where which is REST API is like lagging somehow. So how you can improve, what are the other solutions which we have apart from the REST API? Yeah, so each and everything we need to discuss and we need to analyze, we need to understand, yeah, why we are selecting this thing and for what reason we are going with it. So that type of things we will discuss in the playlist. Then the middleware, that's nothing but what we discussed, right? The middleware we're going to discuss, and the last not the last, we can say the server side will focus on the actual programming. And for the reference, we will focus on Java, Spring Boot. Right now, Spring Boot is one of the framework which Java 8 basically we will going to use. Don't worry about it. We'll start from the basic concept first, then we'll go in the depth. Now, again, after going into the depth on the Java and everything, we again comes from the client side, and in the client side also will focus on the React.js with the Next.js. Also, we will touch the JavaScript in detail as well, so you can get better understanding. Yep. So this all the stuff will be done from this playlist, and this playlist, like each and every day, like after alternate days, you will get these videos, and yeah, then you have to subscribe this channel and go for it. But yeah, now let's come to the interesting point, right? Let's make this playlist or this whole community, right, very interactive. Yeah, as it's a learning community, as I mentioned, right, let's make this conversation more interactive. How I can help you directly, so that's again the important thing, right? So that's why I mentioned in the second part, right, we will touch the GitHub, right? So what I'm looking for from your side, right, that we will do some of the assignments and everything as well while going with the playlist. Okay, like let's say if I'm uploading the video, after uploading the video I will give you the assignments as well and give you some sufficient time with the assignments. You have to complete your assignments, submit to the GitHub, and then raise a PR, and our team will be review that PR and give you the proper suggestion which make sure that you are developing some high quality codes, because that's also very important stuff, right? The high quality code is very important in the IT market, so the person can reuse it, person can understand it. So that's very important point as well that we will going to touch it. Now let's say here, right, it's more about one-to-one community, not one-to-one. Yeah, here it's more about like I'm talking with the camera, you can just send the comments and all that stuff, right? So it is very difficult to send the doubts inside that comments, and I can review it and give you the response. So for that, right, we'll come up with the Discord channel. Okay, so in Discord you can send me the one-to-one questions directly. You can ask in the group, or you can just send me the one-to-one questions, whatever the doubts you have regarding the playlist, what till now, what with the video we have reached. Then we will try to solve those questions into the chat itself. If something big question or major question we need to highlight, then we'll again create a video for the same and explain you better way. So that's how we are planning to do it, and this whole things, right, it will take 2 months. So this whole things, right, which we are talking right now, it will take around 2 months of the time. So our plan is very simple. Each and every after 2 days, so our plan is very simple. After each and every 2 days time, after 2 days we're going to launch, we are going to like after 2 days we will going to after 2 days we will going to upload one video, every 2 days, after 2 days of time frame, we will upload the new videos, and you have to go with it, do the things whatever they asking, as well as we'll do the connection as well in the community, Discord community. So thank you so much for your time, guys, but make sure you subscribe this channel, so in the future if you want this playlist part of, so you will get the proper okay. Thank you so much, guys. That's it from my side today, and yeah, we'll see you after 2 days with the next new videos, which will start covering all the sections. And yeah, I'm looking for you guys to just subscribe this channel, so you will get a notification as well. And all the things, like as I mentioned, you have to fill the form in the Google to give me the GitHub credential, and not a credential, it's a security concern, right? We are the IT, so GitHub username and everything you have to fill it out. And just for my reference purpose, I want you guys, if you're looking into it, then just fill the form, so that will give me the better understanding that which person, like from which category the person is looking into this video, so I can give the more focus on that direction. If it is a new person or freshers are looking into this videos, then we'll give that type of understanding or that type of knowledge. If the person is already experienced, that community is looking for the video, then we are going in that direction. Yeah, so the thought process on an explanation will be slightly different, right? More technical, more things, so everything will go in a different manner. So I want that statistics should be there with me. So yeah, thank you so much. Bye bye, take care.